Black Eyed Peas with Don't You Worry, and welcome back to the Country Viewpoint here on Flow FM on a Monday afternoon. Well, we always love to publicise a rural health initiative, and there's one that's just been announced in South Australia between Teaports and the Fat Farmers non-for-profit organisation. So it's now time to bring in Tim Gurney, who's the manager of Teaports, to find out exactly what's behind this initiative and a little bit about fat farmers too, and indeed why they are called fat farmers. Here's Tim Gurney explaining that to me.
I thought that might be your first question, mate. It's a rural health initiative. I guess they were born probably around 2010, so 12 years ago. A few farmers in Ben, Greg and Scott, who farm around the York Peninsula, around Maitland on the York Peninsula, got together. They were seeing themselves put on a few kilos back then, and got out of sheep. So they were continuous cropping and spent a lot of time in cabs or trucks or sprayers or headers and the likes, and thought, well, they could see this issue happening around the community with everyone putting on a few pounds, so to speak, and thought they'd go to the gym, and they sort of named themselves the Fat Farmers, and went to the gym a few times and had a good yarn, a bit of fun at the gym, some really good conversations, and all of a sudden they walked out of there thinking this actually works not just physically but mentally for me as well, and hence Fat Farmers were born, and now they've got 16 or 20 groups in local communities spread right throughout South Australia. It's been fantastic.
Wow, I wasn't expecting such a little take on that. Let's talk about the actual initiative itself, Tim. So what is this going to achieve in regards to better outcomes for both parties?
Yeah, look, we at Teaports, we care about our growers, Ellis. That's the bottom line. And Fat Farmers members are also our growers, our customers. So we really focus from a Teaports perspective to be supporting a healthy and vibrant, community, and in regional South Australia or other states, and that's where we sort of come together in a collaborative effort to support growers and get on board Fat Farmers, and our sponsorship obviously gives Fat Farmers, that turbocharge effect where now they can continually grow their business and grow more members and groups in local communities. Right around the states.
All right. Talk to me, Tim. Talk to me about what you're hearing on the ground in regards to farmers who may be struggling with some elements of their well-being at the moment, because we know that obviously the elephant in the room here are all the challenges that we have going on in the current climate, which there's no shortage of them. So what are the conversations that you've sort of been privy to?
Oh, look, I probably won't get into it too deeply, mate, but, farmers are extremely resilient. They face the wrath of Mother Nature, and sometimes Mother Nature can be absolutely perfect, and other times it can be a bit of a mongrel of a thing to deal with, and they've got to, be mind fit and have a good well-being in that space to be able to make good decisions, not just for their business, but for their family and the communities in which they live. So, that's part of the reason why we got on board with Fat Farmers was, look at the right now, with the weather events that are around, not just New South Wales, Victoria, but South Australia as well. And, you can just see that, Fat Farmers provide that arm, that link for the growers to be, better at what they do and who they are with joining a group.
Do you think there's enough support networks out there for farmers these days, Tim?
There's certainly a myriad of support. There's plenty of other groups, mate, where growers can touch base with, and I urge growers, if they're feeling that way, to certainly do that. But yeah, over the last 5 or 6 years, there's certainly a lot of groups that have come to the fore to really help growers.
Tim Gurney, the manager of Teaports in South Australia. We've got plenty more to discuss after this break, including some fairly profound subjects. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Country Viewpoint here on Flow FM on a Monday afternoon. Welcome back to the Country Viewpoint here on Flow FM. That was Kaylee Bell with Small Town Friday Nights. I'm sure one man who's familiar with plenty of small towns around South Australia is the manager of Teaports, Tim Gurney, and we're talking about these stereotypical views that are sometimes held for farmers. But of course, everyone needs support. And I got Tim to expand on this talking point for us. So we'll go back now to the chat I had earlier on with Tim Gurney from Teaports.
Well, I guess the common view is that farmers are tough, mate. They're tough and they're resilient, and that might be the external view. But internally, they put up with a lot of stress and a lot of, I guess the wrath, like I said before, the wrath of Mother Nature. Teaports are getting blood from the same stone, Mother Nature. We rely on rain to grow crop. Growers rely on rain to grow crop, and their bottom lines are affected by yields and the likes as well. So. I just urge growers to speak up if they're in that position and get help, and certainly Fat Farmers are a rural health initiative that can help them in that manner.
We've got a big harvesting period coming up. So going forward, Tim, how do you sort of see things going as far as the landscape goes? We get told quite often through various spokespersons from a numerous amount of peak bodies that growers and farmers are going to be in for a very uncertain 2023 with plenty of obstacles popping up. So how do you sort of see things going into the future?
I think they're pretty bright, mate. I haven't got a crystal ball, but, commodity prices are up there. In the next 10 or 14 days, just short-term stuff, the weather seems to be finding up, so growers are going to get a really good crack at harvest. They got some fantastic yields out there. Some may or may not be affected by weather, but it's just a matter of getting it off the stalk and getting it in the bin, when they can. And it looks like the next couple of weeks they'll have a really good chance of doing that.
So tell us more about Teaports before we let you go, Tim.
Teaports, we build ports and storage facilities for grain in South Australia at this stage. We've got 2 ports, one at Lucky Bay and one at Wallaroo. We're open for business, absolutely. Been around for 4 years now, loaded about 45 vessels or more. And it wouldn't be, without the assistance of the farmers that make us prosperous in the manner which we are today. The farmers have been great with their support, but so have the grain traders, and especially ADM in the first couple of years really helped us out, and now we've got a great suite of grain traders on board, and we're here for the long term, and we want to support our growers and continually grow alongside them.
Teaports manager Tim Gurney speaking to us there about the latest rural health initiative signed off between Teaports in South Australia, the grain export company that signed off on a new deal with the Fat Farmers non-for-profit organisation. You can find out more by heading to www.teaports.com. Well, stay tuned here on the Country Viewpoint. We'll wrap things up for this Monday when we return in a short while. I'll see you back here soon. You're listening to the Country Viewpoint.